Now, I think this interesting. I think this interesting. I mean, how could you not think this is interesting? I think that this is interesting just for the sheer fact of what's going to come. What the outcome is going to be because of this art, because of this, this happening. But anyway, so to get right into it, if you didn't know about the story, there was a transgender um, boy. Her name is, or his name is Mack Breggs, and he pretty much breezed through, states wrestling championship this year, or whenever it was. I don't know. I don't keep up with wrestling. That's very too loose for me. But anyway, so the story goes like there was a 17-year-old transgender boy, and he went undefeated Saturday by winning a controversial Texas State girls wrestling title, and he pretty much just breezed from female to female. At some point, the article did say that, and I'll try to put the link to the article in the description of this video. But at one point, the reporters or whoever reported that the family, that the transgender boy told his family that he would rather wrestle the guys, but because of state policy, they go off of a birth certificate policy. So if you're a boy, if you're born as a boy, you gotta you gotta wrestle the guys, and if you're born as a girl, you gotta wrestle the girls. So that's how they decided. So they say that he went 56-0, and after the last meet, or I think they call them meets in wrestling. After he won his last match, he fell to his knees, and there was a mixture of boos and cheers, as he fell to his knees. But it also says that two girls actually forfeited, and so they was like, fuck this shit, and just dropped out, and then it just made his path easier. But I mean, he was gonna win those anyway. Like let's be real. He was gonna beat those girls, or he was gonna beat those girls easily anyway. So, I guess you might as well save your say, hey, there's always next year. But big ups to the girls who actually had enough balls, or had enough, to actually go through with it and try to defeat her, try to knock her off. But it was a foregone conclusion. That was already, a dub for her. Anyway, though, so it says, at the end, it says that the University Interscholastic League, which oversees athletic and Texas public schools, enacted the birth certificate policy on August 1st. And while Begg's family has said he wanted to compete against boys, UIL Deputy Director Jamie Harrison, who refused to address Beggs directly, said that they had not received a request to change divisions from any athlete at this competition. And somewhere at the end, if I scroll down, something caught my eye. So it said that 95% of school superintendents in Texas voted for the rule as it was proposed, which was to use birth certificates. Yeah. So any rule can be reconsidered, but given the overwhelming support for that rule, I don't expect it to change anytime soon. So the coaches can't bitch about it. There's going to be some coaches who are like, you know what, Sally or whoever, this was just a fluke. You could have won, but they were cheating, or they will say something, but they can't bitch about it if 92%, of the superintendents, if they didn't voice their opinion towards them enough to change the rule, there's not much that you could bitch about. I mean, this is kind of like, if you can imagine, this is kind of like when 2K drops, right? Let's say this year 2K17. When 2K17 dropped, and you go to my part with your freshly created character, you're a rookie one, you probably what, a 67 overall, 70 maybe, you know, and you get to the park and there's already a motherfucker who's a superstar 189 overall, and you gotta guard that motherfucker. That's pretty much the situation that all these girls ran into. It's like that situation, you know how when it's like a 3-on-3, you start the matchup and the two guys on the team go to the opposite corner and make y'all go 1-on-1. That's pretty much exactly how this is. And your defense at like 60 or 60 overall or some shit. And the guys just constantly spamming crossovers. It's terrible. It's just not going out in your favor. So, I mean, that's pretty much it. I thought it was very interesting, just based off the